There were some strong words today about the justice system coming from Ontario's premier.
Doug Ford lashing out at judges he claims are blocking the province's agenda. As CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports, his remarks are getting plenty of reaction tonight.
It was supposed to be an announcement about tweaks Ontario can make to bail, but the premier eclipsed it with a rant he says he's been holding in for 7 years.
What right do they have, an unelected, politically appointed judges determining our budgets?
Doug Ford taking aim not only at judges he says are soft on accused criminals, but derailing his government's agenda.
We get democratically elected, and some judge slaps an injunction on bike lanes.
The government is appealing that injunction that blocks the removal of bike lanes on 3 Toronto streets. That's until a decision is made on whether the removal is unconstitutional.
Last time I checked, there hasn't been any judges elected. Maybe that's the problem. We should do what the U.S. does. Let's start electing our judges, holding them accountable.
Not something the provincial government has power to decide. But Ford is floating another way to get people on the bench who see things his way.
You know, one of these judges that are bleeding hearts, I can't wait till they retire. Matter of fact, I'll pay him to retire earlier.
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association calls Ford's comments deeply alarming, stressing the need to respect judicial independence and rule of law to maintain a fair criminal justice system, something echoed by the opposition at Queen's Park.
When the Premier starts talking like this, it's dangerous.
The judiciary are not there to further our agenda. They're independent. Their job is to impose the rule of law and to interpret the rule of law.
Pointing out Doug Ford's frustrations sound a lot like someone else.
When you're fighting Trump, to sound like Trump when it comes to respecting the courts and due process doesn't do Ontarians any good, doesn't do Canadians any good.
The opposition says the answer to anger over potentially violent people being released from custody is more funding for the courts.
People who should who should be behind bars are not. Their cases are being dismissed. And people who are innocent are stuck behind bars and not getting their day in court.
The government's introducing legislation Thursday. It includes measures to hire more judges, to work through a case backlog, and to speed up the appointment process. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.